The Avengers issue 33 heads to Kunlun, where Moon Knight sits outside the mystical city's gates, praying for the power and speed of the moon. Soon Danny Rand comes out of the city, saying if the Masked Man wanted to get him, there are easier ways to get his attention, other than coming all the way to the Himalayas. Danny knows that Moon Knight obviously wants his attention, since he tripped every alarm on his way up the mountain. Moon Knight says that he is the Fist of Khonshu, and what he's doing can only be done one way. Moon Knight says that he seeks the Iron Fist, so Danny introduces himself as such, asking what the man needs. Moon Knight suddenly attacks Danny, but he fends him off with his chi redirections. The Masked Man continues to say that he seeks the Iron Fist as he hits Danny again and again. Danny knows that Mark has a history of mental illness, and if this is just some multiple personality disorder thing, he can get him help, since he is not the Moon Knight's enemy. The moon suddenly gets brighter, blinding Danny as Mark smashes him with the Fist of Khonshu. Mark says that people will say he did this because he is crazy, since that's what they think of him, the maniac in white. But he wants Danny to know that he's not off his meds or delusional, but completely in control of himself, and his transformation begins today. The tired and defeated Danny doesn't want to have to kill Mark, but he pulls his Ankh pendant from his neck, praying for grace as the power of Ankh burns Danny, pulling the power of the immortal dragon of Kunlun from his body. At the Sanctum Sanctorum, Doctor Strange battles a horde of mummies as a voice tells him that he is doomed. Stephen knows the voice is that of Mark Spector, who punches him as he says for a few more minutes Doctor Strange will still be the Sorcerer Supreme. Stephen is shocked to learn that Mark hit him with an Iron Fist, demanding to know what he has done, and Mark tells him he did what Stephen should have. The priests of Khonshu unleash their power upon Stephen, trapping him again as Mark uses his pendant to pull Stephen's power from him, telling Stephen that tonight is the biggest supermoon the world has ever seen in 1,000,000 years, and if it's any consolation, Stephen never stood a chance against him. At Hill Rock Heights, Robbie Reyes awakens, feeling like hell, telling Gabe that he feels like his insides were being barbecued. He tells him he just needs some air, so he steps outside the house, only to find that the charger is gone. He asks Gabe where it is, but his brother says the last he saw it was out there, thinking that maybe someone stole it. But Robbie knows that it's not possible for anyone to steal it. Elsewhere, Moon Knight has stolen the Hell Charger, using the pendant to eat away at its vengeance-powered energy, but Mark begins cursing himself since the power he feels is actually good for a change. In Wakanda, an army of the undead has gathered outside the city's borders. T'Challa contacts Steve Rogers, telling him that he didn't think the followers of Khonshu had such resources. He tells Captain America to protect the Starbrand child and to use all of Avengers Mountain's defenses, but be aware that that might not be enough. Black Panther confronts Mark, who says they need not war and both of them can settle this. T'Challa hopes that once Mark falls, his army would fall back, but Mark knows he will not be beat tonight, readying himself for a fight. However, T'Challa surrenders, saying he will go quietly if the army leaves Wakanda alone. Mark says that it won't be peaceful, presenting T'Challa with one of his pendants, which doesn't activate, confusing the man. T'Challa says that his power comes from his blood, and if Moon Knight wants it, he will need to take all of him. Elsewhere, Thor arrives on Earth to aid his friends when Moon Knight confronts him. Thor meets with him, calling him a coward for assaulting the Avengers, and he will stand down, while the All-Father of Thunder will drench the moon in his blood. He throws Mjolnir at Mark, who stops in midair, saying that Thor has had this hammer for hundreds of years, yet he doesn't even know what Uru actually is. Thor tries to call the hammer back, but it doesn't budge a bit, as Mark tells him that Uru is older than the universe, and it's rubble from the days of creation, and it's left over from the very first orb of night. So in other words, Uru is moon rock, something Moon Knight can control. Moon Knight uses the hammer to smash Thor over and over. Thor says he doesn't need a hammer and can call thunderstorms down, but Mark says he won't be doing that since they are on sacred ground and Thor's powers are no good there. He uses the hammer to pick Thor up, casting him into the stars as Mark calls in the moons from other solar systems and universes with the Eye of Agamotto, crushing Thor between them. A voice tells Moon Knight that this may be enough, but he reveals that Black Panther cannot be broken, the Phoenix still remains untethered, and the Starbrand child is being hidden from them. So Mark says what they got will have to do. The being talking to Moon Knight is revealed to be Khonshu himself, who says that he approves and now they can save the world from the devil. The Avengers issue 33 was a fun beginning to the Moon Knight centric storyline, which looks to be trying to tie up into the reveal that the devil is manipulating most of the threats against the Avengers and kind of playing all these different people and teams against the Avengers. It was fun seeing Mark just dismantle many of the Avengers with ease, these, and I liked we got all of Moon Knight's personalities at play here, from Mark to Steve to Jake. And of course it's cool seeing Moon Knight get a little bit of a push here as well. While I don't know particularly a lot about the character, I am very intrigued with him, so it's great to see him get a big mainline push here in an Avengers title. I'm excited for the Devil storyline to continue, and I'm glad it could in a cool way. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10.